I've joined the Rawvolution at Naturaw because I know that not all raw food is created equal. I'm passionate about feeding dogs as nature intended. After all, you are what you eat, and so is your dog. At Naturaw, there are no compromises, no confusion, just real raw food made with integrity and a conscience, offering 100% transparency, supporting British farmers, and only using the highest welfare assured ingredients is so important. They're a certified B Corp and reduce their carbon footprint by utilizing solar power and planting trees. They only use completely plastic-free packaging that's home compostable. Prudence and Mr. Binks are simply loving their nutrient-dense and balanced recipes. So try Naturaw today. Just go to naturaw.co.uk and grab 20% off your first purchase with my code AnnaWebb20. Join the Rawvolution and feed exceptional raw food. Hello, I'm Anna Webb, and welcome to A Dog's Life. This week, we're talking to actor and broadcaster and all-round animal advocate, Peter Egan. And this episode is powered by Antonon. Peter Egan, welcome to A Dog's Life.
Thank you, Anna. It's lovely to talk to you.
Oh, well, I've been so looking forward to you joining us on the podcast for ages. So thank you.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
I know. I mean, I see you, of course, on the dog front because we have a charity in common. You might notice my sweatshirt I'm wearing, especially for you, which is All Dogs Matter.
All Dogs Matter. Wonderful.
Yeah.
It's where it all began for me, really. All Dogs Matter. Yeah.
You know, they're 15 years old, I think now.
I think, yes, maybe even
more.
A bit more than that. Yeah. A great team. Ira does a great job, doesn't she? She's wonderful.
She does. And actually, you know, she's a really good friend. And, you know, I'm proud to be an ambassador now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, no, I love that because rescue and helping animals generally a great passion of mine because, I feel a lot of animals, dogs included, get, quite a raw deal. Would you agree?
100%. I think that we human animals impose the worst things on every other species, every single species on this our wonderful planet. It's unbelievable what we do to them. And they certainly don't deserve what they get. Every animal, whether it's for entertainment or for clothes or food or it's just dreadful, really dreadful.
I know. Yeah, no, I do agree. I know you do a lot with the moon bears as well, in Asia, and their story is particularly gruesome, I think. But the latest news you're talking about, Peter, is actually sort of much closer to home, and probably people listening may have actually eaten an egg already today, and it's chickens. I mean, I do remember the Jamie Oliver campaign a few years ago, which I think shocked the nation, but it hasn't changed anything, has it, Peter?
Well, it hasn't in terms of you're talking about the Franken chickens then. This is about the egg-laying hens, of course, who are kept in enrichment cages, which it doesn't describe at all the lives that these poor hens have, because there's no enrichment whatsoever in putting a bunch of hens, that's not the right way to describe a lot of hens together, but in a cage where they only have an A4 page size to actually exist in. So you might have 20 or 30 or 10 hens in a cage and they can't move. And now, luckily, the improvement as far as that is concerned is that 82% of hens now are free range and are not in these dreadful cages. But some 7 million hens are at this very moment in these tiny cages as we speak, and they have no ability to perform any natural behavior whatsoever. It's absolutely appalling. If you can imagine us all, like, human beings like sardines in a tin. I mean, it's just awful. And they have the most terrible lives. And as you say, they are producing people's breakfasts.
Yeah,
People are
yeah.
eating their product every single day. And I think, and today is the end of the government consultation on this. And so people only have today to actually make their feelings heard. And what is very good is some 80% of the UK voting public are against these cages. And either they should make their feelings clear in what they're buying, although now I think battery hens are not clearly labeled in the way they should be. We have lots of free range labeling, but not battery hen labeling, as I understand it. But anyone who is interested, Anna, can visit the Compassion in World Farming website and get all the information that they will need about it. And they will also have the opportunity to protest and end the cage age. And they can do that after listening to your interview and help us all stop this horror for these wonderful hens.
Oh gosh, I really hope they do. I mean, what is the idea? How can governments stop it? I mean, do they have the power
Yes, of course
to
they do.
tell
Yeah,
farmers,
yeah,
to,
yeah.
yeah. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
what would you like to see happening? Obviously, a ban on, I mean,
I would like
all
to.
chickens, really? I mean, apart from free range or organic, I mean, what's the solution?
I would like to see the end of the cage age. You
Mm,
know,
mm.
we're grown-ups now. We're in the 21st century. I mean, these old practices should be done away with, and they're just there because they're more comfortable for farmers to actually handle these poor creatures in this way, and it can be stopped. I mean, they've stopped it in France and Germany and Belgium, in Austria, in Luxembourg.
Mm.
The EU is leading the way with this, and we are way behind them. And we left the EU. One of the reasons why we left the EU was to have our own freedom of choice as far as these farming practices are concerned. And now we have the freedom of choice. So let's choose to do the compassionate and kind thing.
Well, we are, after all, supposed to be, the nation of animal lovers.
Indeed, 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 we are, and of course, it is very questionable in certain areas. And also, I mean, just paradoxically, one of the reasons why we left the EU was to have our own sovereignty. I didn't want that. I'm very much a Remainer, but that was one of the reasons that we left, was so that we can actually make our own choices. And now the government is saying, well, we don't want to get ahead of the EU as far as this is concerned. And in fact, we're behind the EU as far as this is concerned.
No, it's shocking. I mean, how do you think farmers feel about this, themselves? I can't
Well,
bear the thought of just, I mean, I'm just seeing, and I've got an A4 piece of paper in front of me at the moment.
yes,
And, you're saying that 20 or more chickens are in this tiny space.
they're not in the space of an A4 piece of paper. They have an A4 piece of paper amount of
Each.
space each.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
see
but
what I
that's
mean.
nothing, is
It's
it? I
nothing.
mean,
It's
nothing.
nothing at all. Yes, I tried to do a drawing of an egg-laying hen on an A4 piece of paper. It was very difficult to keep it within the frame of the paper.
Yeah.
But look, farmers have a hard life. I know. I mean, it's very challenging for them, and a lot of the supermarkets and corporations want to keep their costs down as much as possible and make as much profit as they can. So I'm not having a go at farmers in general. I mean, I think farmers do genuinely. I know quite a lot of farmers, and they genuinely care about their animals. I mean, my conversation with them stops when I say, well, if you care about your animals, stop slaughtering them. And that's when as I'm a vegan, that's when our conversation stops there. But so I'm all for a kind of intervention between the animal living and providing food, and to do that as kindly as possible. From my point of view, if I had my choice, that wouldn't exist. We'd all be plant-based, but that isn't going to happen. But while that isn't happening, make the journey as kind and as compassionate as possible. And certainly as far as egg-laying hens are concerned, because they are kept alive for as long as they lay their eggs, make it as comfortable as possible for them and give them as much life themselves as possible, because they are providing food to give life to human beings if they choose that way of eating.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm vegetarian, Peter,
Yeah,
and I buy the best organic eggs I possibly can from
yeah,
a very posh place, and that I feel that's not only a conscious thing to do for chickens, but also for your own health,
yeah,
because chickens that have a good life and lay eggs, which is a natural process, then
yeah.
their eggs are, going to be more nutritious if you, as you say,
Yeah.
choose to eat them.
Yes, I'm sure that stress does
Yes,
affect the produce, of course, yes. It
yes.
certainly, stress affects our physical being. So the same thing would happen, I think, with an egg-laying hen. Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
It's,
I have friends, that keep chickens,
yeah,
as pets really in their
yes,
garden, and they've
yeah,
got the most amazing maisonette, really. It's
yeah,
it's like one of those offices that you have in your garden,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
sure, yeah,
yeah, and really great, and it's safe from the foxes because they're
yeah,
obviously, the urban fox in London is a worry for the foxes. And my friends have got children, and they're proving to be such a great education as
yeah.
well for the children to understand
Kindness and
chickens and
compassion and
kindness and
care, yeah.
compassion and the food chain in a way. I mean, I know I agree with you on the slaughtering. I mean, as I say, I don't eat meat, so
Mm.
I can't bear that bit. And I remember when I was young, we were traveling somewhere and we got stuck next to a great big truck,
Mm.
full of calves, I think.
Livestock, yeah, that's,
Yeah, and it was just awful, and that
it's horrible.
really I couldn't bear it, Peter.
Yes, it's
You know,
horrible.
it
I'm
mm,
It is horrible, and to think that I don't know how many of us are now, 9 billion on this planet, and something in the region of 300 billion animals are killed every year to feed all those people who want to eat animal product. And also, I just saw an article this morning. David Attenborough said, if everyone was plant-based, we would save 50% of the land that is used for growing crops. So, I mean, I'm an ethical vegan, so I'm against any eating anything to do with, but that has nothing at all to do with what I'm here for at
no, the
the moment,
chickens,
which is to do with kindness and consideration. And it would also only add if everyone went, if all farmers went free range. I think they've worked it out that it would only add 12p a week to people who are buying eggs. They would pay 12 pence a week more. So it's a couple of pence a day. That's all,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. I
And
mean, do you think part of the problem, Peter, is other products like things like cakes and biscuits and sort of,
they all
products,
want, yes, they all want it as cheaply as possible. Yes.
so eggs are in those
The
products,
eggs are in so many products that we don't even think about. Absolutely.
you know,
And I'm sure they are all working on margins. But I think if 80% of the British public would like to see an end to it, I would assume that 80% of the British public is happy to pay that extra 12 pence, I would hope. So it's not a huge bridge to cross. And I think it is very, very important, particularly in the world we're living now. I think it's very important for us all to be aware of kindness and to be aware of compassion and empathy. And the poor little hens live, terrible lives. And fancy calling it an enrichment cage when all it does is restrict enrichment.
and it's so ironic because I remember my first dog trainer, a wonderful lady called Nina Bondarenko, actually.
Yeah.
And she believed that everyone, before getting a dog and before training a dog, that you should clicker train a chicken because they're so bright and you could
Yes.
train them. You can
Can you
train
really?
them.
Yes.
Yeah, you can give them cues, to go
Yes.
left or to go right or to go backwards or to go back
Amazing.
into your
Yeah.
house. Just and using, the clicker for positive reinforcement, and then throw them a little bit of,
Yeah.
bread or something.
Encouragement. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have, so they can learn and they can go through tunnels and they can jump onto a perch on cue, just
Wonderful.
like, you can train parrots and budgies,
Yeah.
So, they are intelligent, emotional beings.
They are sentient, and they also are very good socially as well with each other. So they need the space to socialize rather than being cramped in enrichment cages. But we know, and as I'm sure you would agree, we know so little about what the animal kingdom knows and how it interrelates. We humans are so sort of shuttered, and so we don't give the shadow of a doubt to these wonderful creatures. They understand so much more than we understand, and are much kinder than we are.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, Peter. I absolutely couldn't agree more. And it is a great shame. I just really hope we can follow the EU and change this. So let's
Yeah.
hope people will sign up. So please, everyone listening, the link's going to be in the show notes, and let's do it and have a think when you're next in your supermarket. Choose the free range or preferably organic, because I
Indeed.
think
Yeah.
I think they're
True.
better. I think free range is still not brilliant,
Yeah.
Peter. I think it's still not how you imagine,
Yeah.
running around fields and
Yeah.
having the great time.
Well, I would say choose kindness.
Yes, choose kindness. And that goes, I agree with you on the human condition, Peter, 100%.
Yeah.
Particularly for me, where dogs are concerned,
Yeah.
being, it is a dog podcast. And I just want to applaud you for all of your kindness to
Thank
the
you.
canine world and what you've done, actually, to offer your presence and your authority to advocate, for dogs and other animals over the years, because you have made a big difference.
Ah, that's so kind of you. Thank you, Anna. Well, I'm sure, like you and all of us who care passionately about these things, I feel if I don't do something positive every day, I haven't achieved anything.
Well, that's a very good way to think, and that keeps you going, I
It
think.
does indeed,
And it
absolutely.
is that, it's that self-fulfilling process,
Absolutely.
that you get your boost of oxytocin by,
Exactly. Absolutely. 100%.
Hey, Anna.
hey, Mike.
So we've just finished Billy's first 60 days of Antinol, and wow, what a difference.
Really? Oh my gosh, what have you noticed?
Well, he's shiner. He's much more energetic. Not that he wasn't beforehand, but you can see the difference. But remember, I told you he used to have that little limp in his back left paw that he'd hurt himself when he was a pup. He
Yes,
doesn't seem
yes.
to do that much anymore.
What, the hop, skip, and the jump?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like his joints are a bit better. And we actually had friends around this weekend who'd noticed that there was something good about Billy. And I was telling them about Antinol, and they said, "Oh, what's in it?" I said, "Well, green lip mussel." And they said, "What's that?" And I go, "Oh, well, I don't know. I'll have to ask Anna," as I always do. So
Well,
for next
green,
time, what should I say? What's so great
well,
about green lip mussel?
well, green-lip mussel, it comes from New Zealand. It's the only place that green-lip mussels live. And what's great about the green-lip mussel is that it is what's known as a broad spectrum source of omega-3. And the reason dogs need to take omega-3 is that their bodies don't make it themselves. So unless they're getting it through, their diet, which can be omega-6 heavy. And it's very important to have a balance between omega-6 and omega-3. So it's normally through supplements that omega-3 is given. And green lip mussel is unique in its having everything from EPA, DHA, and ETA. So all the main omega-3s.
And how about Binks and Prudence? They must be much better as well.
Yeah, well, they've been on it for over a year, and they've been on green lip mussel forever since I've had them. So Prue's 10 now. So she's had green lip mussel since the first day I brought her home, to be honest, but not Antinol. And I only wish I'd discovered Antinol earlier. I really honestly mean that, because it's an oil rather than a powder. So its bioavailability, that means, its effectivity to get absorbed quickly and efficiently by the body, is greater.
So people listening now and they want to discover Antinol for themselves, where do they go?
Well, all you have to do is go to Antinol, ANTINOL.co.uk, and then type in Anna Webb and get your special discount. Peter, briefly, tell us about the dogs in your life at the moment.
Dogs in my life, sadly, I lost 3 dogs in the last year.
I'm so sorry. I had her, I know.
They were all a good age. They were all 15, and so had been with me for a huge amount of time. One of them was Pippa, who was a Staffy Cross, who, like DJ before him, was my gatekeeper. And I adore all of my dogs, but some of them just penetrate a little bit deeper, and Pippa was remarkable. In fact, I was sitting down yesterday with my 2 dogs that I have now, and I suddenly became incredibly sad. I suddenly missed her desperately. But luckily I have Boo, who is 14, who I rescued through All Dogs Matter 13 odd years ago. And I have Crackers, who I rescued.
What a great name. Is she or he?
Well, she's the 3rd Crackers who's been in our lives over the years. And my late wife's first dog was called Crackers. And Crackers is from Bosnia. I got her through Saving Strays, another charity that I'm a patron for. And they're just wonderful. They're absolutely fabulous. And I've been lucky enough for the last 30 years to have spent my life with a pack of dogs. And there's absolutely nothing like being in the company of lots of dogs. They ground you, they make you live in the moment, and they also look at you if you're stressed and say, "What's the problem?"
I know.
Just forget it. Just sit down. Come and have a cuddle.
Yes.
They're wonderful.
You're so right about that look when you're stressed, because I do get stressed, and and I hate it because they absorb it. And science, that's the worst bit. Science has recently proved that they do absorb it.
They do absorb it. But what is wonderful, Anna, is they absorb it and they flick it away. We absorb it and we retain it for far too long, until our necks get tense, till our back aches, till we can hardly walk. And dogs that are running around saying, "Get rid of it, get rid of it."
Exactly. Come and have fun. Let's go for a game of tug.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're so right, Peter. Well, look, thank you. Thank you so much. And I do hope to see you at an All Dogs Matter event soon. Have you heard that the thing is, I might be giving something away here, but so we won't give it all away, but have you heard Ira's latest plan for the big Christmas event?
I have. It sounds wonderful. Yes.
Yes.
Apparently I'm going to be appearing in it. So.
That's brilliant. Well, apparently I'm helping train the dogs.
Fantastic. So, wonderful. That will be good.
And so I might see you at some rehearsals, which would be
you
great.
Might indeed. I hope so.
I hope so too. So hold that thought. Well, thank you.
Will.
Thank you so much, Peter Egan, the legend, for joining today.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much.
That's our show. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, go on, please rate and review the show wherever you tune into your podcasts. Thanks again, of course, to Peter Egan for joining us today. And all the links are in the show notes to please offer your support for Caged Hens. Thanks again, of course, to Mike, my producer, for all the music and production as ever. And if you're interested to find out a bit more about Antinol, I urge you, go onto their website and at checkout, just type in my code, which is Anna Webb, to receive your special discount. Also, for Natu Raw, my preferred raw, balanced and complete dog food, use my special discount code, which is AnnaWebb20. And one more thing, if you haven't already, go on, subscribe. It's free, and that way you'll never miss another show. Bye for now.